All right. Well, I'd like to start out by asking you a question. Do I have your permission to go rogue?
Hell yeah.
All right. We are going to do things a little bit backward. I once had to give a speech totally backwards, so I started with a call to action. What I'm going to do today is start with a free gift. So I'd like you all to grab a pen and a paper and write this down. Tiny URL, tinyurl.com/pinkfixday. tinyurl.com/pinkfixday. And that is your free gift because we are all about collaboration, not competition. And I would like to welcome Holleigh Urbanik up here with me.
Okay.
Do you have one of these?
I have this.
Okay.
Right here.
All right.
Can you hear me? Yes. All right. Cool. Maybe I should just hold it. Sorry.
And now we're rolling.
We're going. We're good.
Come on out.
Oh, okay. Go over here, Mom. Hi, Melissa.
So Holleigh joined my team 1 year ago this month.
Yes.
And hearing the speakers on the panel, it was like Jessica queued up the perfect intro for our conversation today. And Holleigh, I would like to ask you, over the last year, what have been one or two of your observations?
Oh my gosh. It's crazy that it's been a year, to be honest. Time has just flown by. I don't even know where to start. I am so excited to be here. I got to experience New York for the first time in my life, and it was like Christmas morning for me. It's been on my bucket list, so I'm so excited to be here. Just when I think Melissa can't do anything more amazing, she inspires me and brings me to New York. So, yeah. Also, Melissa is not intimidating. She's not scary for anybody that might think that she is. She is not. And actually, our relationship kind of started with me thinking that she was intimidating. I knew of Melissa, but I wasn't her bestie, believe it or not. I knew that she was this powerhouse, and I just really admired her from afar. And I was kind of intimidated and scared to have a conversation with her because she was a picture of wealth to me. She lives on a beautiful bayou, has all these amazing things and friends and family, and I was like, oh, I want to be that person. I want that light, because Melissa has this light about her when she walks into a room, and I don't want to cry. But yeah, so I also saw on social media that she had recently written a book, Going Rogue, right here. They are also for sale back there if you want to take one home.
All proceeds are being donated to nonprofits that serve women, by the way.
Yes, they are. And I looked at it, and honestly, the subtitle at the top, How to Align Your Money with Your Values, Live Your Ideal Life and Be a Blessing to Others. And I saw ideal life, and I was like, what the heck is that? Like, I just thought, I'm in this job that I didn't really love, and I was just gonna work really hard and make a bunch of money, because that's what I've always been taught and told, is like work and work and work, and then eventually you retire. And I started thinking about living an ideal life, and is that actually possible? And then I knew that I needed to get out of my comfort zone yet again and ask Melissa to have a conversation. And from then on, it's been really transformational. I feel like I've been given this incredible gift that I can't even quantify.
And the transformation came because she got out of her comfort zone.
Yes.
She asked for help. And she asked for help thinking she was going to hire me to be her financial planner.
Yes.
There was a little bit of a twist there, hence why she's here with us today.
You totally flipped the script, and now we are working together, and it's been amazing. But honestly, for everybody that's in the audience and those that are watching, why did you write Going Rogue?
Sure. I had a dream in 2010 that I would write a book. People had been telling me I was the female Dave Ramsey. And I was like, well, he's kind of arrogant. And sometimes he talks down to people. And I'm like, I'm me. I don't need to be somebody else, the female version of anybody else. And when I look back, I love to look back on my life and connect the dots of people I know, points in time. And there's always a rhythm that happens at the exact right moment. And that point in time 10 years ago was not the right time to write a book. It wasn't the right time in 2019 when I started doing my outline. The right time came in 2020 when we had seemingly nothing else to do because we were all stuck at home. I took that opportunity to put pen to paper, literal pen to paper, and I'm the old school girl who will cut and paste on my dining room table. And the reason that I took the time when I could have been out goofing off was because I wanted to help millions of women have a foundation, a firm foundation with their finances so that they didn't have to go through what I went through, did not have to make the same mistakes that I did. And there's a limit to how many people we can serve one-to-one in a traditional setting. And what traditional financial services doesn't do, there's a gap between what people need and want and what financial services brings to the table. And what I identified as that gap was the foundation. In the book, I don't even start talking about money until part 2, chapter 4. Because I believe there's some infrastructure and groundwork that needs to be laid. And so that's part of why I wanted to write the book, to get the foundation out there so that women had confidence to step out and do things like host an awesome event, become entrepreneurs, to serve others, to be confident and be leaders and mentors. And the idea that we have to be wealthy or we have to be rich or we have to know things about money, that we have to have good math skills or numbers, those are all myths. And if we buy into those myths, those are lies that we're accepting for ourselves. And it doesn't have to be that way. And the book is just a stepping stone. I had no idea that I would be able to be in a position 10 years ago when I made that declaration that I should write a book, that I would be able to give away all of the proceeds. I didn't write the book to make millions off of the sales. I wrote the book to change millions of lives.
That's powerful. I hope I can write a book someday because I think that this is amazing and everybody needs to pick up this book before you leave, because it truly is like what the other ladies were talking about, your mindset, and really it is more than just numbers. Like things that really bring you joy are the things that you need to be doing more of. It's not just like, well, if you put this much money and you watch it grow, it'll be great, because at the end of the day, how is that really going to make you feel?
Right, I think as leaders in our positions as friends, family members, we can lead by putting the right tools and resources in front of each other. And the partnerships or the mom and daughter relationships that are here today, I think that is so awesome. When you invite a friend or a family member to an event like this, when you put a book in front of them, you're opening the door to something that they may not, at that point in time, ever believe is possible. When I was $200,000 negative net worth, I had no idea that I would be in a paid-for home on the bayou that Holleigh mentioned, and that I would be able to take a step financially to invest in the next generation of advisors, especially a female advisor. And I believe in legacy, that there are two components to legacy. We can save up our money, perhaps live a not totally fulfilled life and leave a bunch of money to the next generation. That's a form of legacy. Or we can walk in our legacy right here, right now, today. By the way we live, by the way we speak, by what we do, by the time that we invest in others, we have that power to make an impact, and that's the legacy that I'm trying to do day in and day out when I get pulled off course and the negative saboteurs in here start walking around and telling me that I'm not worthy, that I'm an imposter, having that imposter syndrome that Jessica mentioned. We are really hard on ourselves, And we need to be nicer to ourselves. And one of the ways we can do that is by taking charge of our money, because our money doesn't have any power over us. We are the ones in charge. We are the ones who have the power. And that's what we do day in and day out. We help change lives by creating the concept, that thought that this isn't my only option. I have choices that I can make. And what we do is teach how to align what is important to you with your money so that you can go out and have fun and you can give back and you can be a blessing to others.
And it's so clear that you can see, like when we're meeting with our clients in the office in a non-traditional, like not a round table, very comfortable area in a judgment-free space, it is so awesome to see the love that you have for creating relationships with the clients that we serve. And it's not just about how many transactions can you crank out, it's about really pouring into our clients' lives and really offering them transformation.
I love masterminding with individuals, and I invite you, if you ever have a question that you just want to run by me, or you have something you've been thinking about, it's been running around in your brain, I've got this thought, I would invite you to reach out to me. I want to be available. I'm at that point in my life where it's about giving back in different ways, and if we can have time together to collaborate, you have an open invitation. Email us, call us. We're here to help you achieve the things you want in life.
I have a question for you.
I may have an answer.
It might freak you out, but what would you say to those that are watching or might be thinking in the audience, probably not anybody here, but what would you say to someone that thinks that they don't need a financial planner, that they can do it on their own? Why waste the time and money?
Well, to quote Henry Ford, he said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So, I invite you to get curious and ask for help, to ask the question. When you're thinking about a financial planner, there are so many misconceptions out there that you need to have a gazillion dollars to work with a financial planner, or you need to make a gazillion dollars so you can afford the financial planner. And there's a lot of people, a lot of women who are going online. It's super easy to open up an investment account online or start trading Forex or buying crypto. There are so many things you can do by yourself. What you can't do by yourself sometimes is see what's right in front of you because you're too close. So you sometimes can miss the mistakes that you might inadvertently be making. You may have insurance, but maybe it's not enough. And we position ourselves as a risk manager and financial director, because it doesn't matter if you have $3 million or $30 million. If something happens in a blink of an eye, a split second, and that's what it takes a split second for something bad to happen. If you don't have the proper plan in place, it doesn't matter who's managing your money. And we want to make sure that if that split second event happened, that you have the plan in place, that your family knows that there's a plan in place, so that you can live your ideal life. And it just takes the time to ask for help. Everybody needs a financial planner, is the short answer to that long answer.
Do you think that you'll be doing what you're doing right now forever?
I told my son the answer to that question was as long as I can keep up with the technology. Our technology, just the time you think you have it, something else changes. There's a new operating system, there's a new something, there's new compliance. But now that I've had more time to think about that answer, I can do what I do for as long as I'm alive because I can delegate. We can hire other people to do the technology. So I have a revised answer, yes. And I will delegate things that are outside of my wheelhouse.
I've noticed. And also, you mentioned, actually you didn't, you have a degree and it's actually in biology. So how in the world do you go from having a degree in biology to being a multi-business owner and CFP? Can you connect those dots?
we'll do the dot connecting. Yes. In college, I did pursue a degree in biology. I wanted to save the world. I wanted to be an environmental attorney. And I needed a break after I got my degree, so I started working in a restaurant, and that was fun. And lo and behold, one of the many dots, a woman I worked with, she was interviewing for a financial advisor position with American Express Financial Advisors, now Ameriprise. And I was like, well, what's that all about? And she said, well, you know, you just help people, you sell them investments. And I thought, oh, I didn't know what I didn't know. I thought, oh, well, I can sell anything, I can do that. So because I had a degree, I was able to get an interview with Morgan Stanley. The degree opened the door. And as a lifelong learner, I'm so glad that my mom encouraged me to just complete the degree, because it opened the door to things I couldn't have at that time in my life fathomed would be available to me. And having the degree obviously leads to more opportunities professionally now, like being able to get the CFP designation. So one thing leads to another. I think every single thing we do in our life is a building block for that next thing that's just around the corner. And sometimes it gets overwhelming when we think about goals. And we can have BHAGs. I like to talk about my BHAG of wanting to sail America's Great Loop and go 6,000 miles around the eastern half of the US for a year and take a year off of work because I can implement technology and I can delegate. So I believe in lifelong learning. This is a learning venue. Anything you read, anything you listen to, put positive things in and be open to taking chances, to getting out of your comfort zone and asking for help.
Definitely, everything is a building block, like you mentioned, and listening to things. Maybe there's something else that you want to share with us about your book going rogue? Timing.
When I have learned, when I release control and I stop pushing and I just take my foot off of the gas, amazing things happen. The book was pre-launched. We pre-sold it in December of 2020. A year later, we brought it to the market. It was released in print and ebook. And I resist things, and when I resist things, what I realize is those things I'm resisting are probably the things I should be paying attention to. So after numerous people asked if I was going to do an audiobook, and I kept dragging my feet, like literally dragging my feet. I even did it twice, recorded the book twice. We finally did the book, and it was released on Monday of this week.
Woo!
So for everybody who buys my book or hasn't bought it, and hasn't read it, you don't have to read it. You can listen to it.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. So.
Is there anything else that you would like to share, nuggets of wisdom for everybody listening and watching?
I had mentioned that I used to have a negative $200,000 net worth. That was 3 years into being a financial planner. I was terrified I was going to lose my house. I was charging my groceries. And most of us know that if you have a bankruptcy or foreclosure, that you lose your licenses, which means you don't have your career that you were pursuing for several years. So I had to ask for help. And the help that I received and the knowledge that I gained from that, being vulnerable, that process of overcoming the challenges and getting to the point now where I'm living my ideal life. I want that for every single person in this room, everybody watching the video. And I just encourage you to be a lifelong learner, ask for help, and invest in yourself. Thank you.